Hello, friends. Good morning to you all. So, we are in the month of May now, and just a few weeks away from the monsoon 2020. And as you can see, the dynamics in the North Indian Ocean has been picking up. And one of the interesting things that we are going to see in the next few days is whether the Bay of Bengal system will develop into a cyclone or not. So you must have been tracking the system that is being formed in the bay right now. So we'll just take a quick look whether what is expected out of that system. Right. So before I give the details about today's video, let us just have a quick recap of the video that I posted on April 29th. Okay, and that also had a similar title. I was looking at whether the cyclone will form around May 1st to 7th in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so just a quick recap. So in the last video on April 29th, I had posted this particular image where I was telling you that the models right now are struggling to predict this system, how the system is going to evolve. The reason was because of all these factors, and which in a single term we call it as spring barrier. So which means that there is just too much happening near the equator, which is MJO movement, Rossby wave movement, Kelvin wave movement, and ITCZ movement. So here the Rossby and Kelvin waves are the ocean component of Rossby and Kelvin wave, not the atmospheric component. Okay. Uh, so this is the general dynamics that since too much is going on, the models are struggling. And I had also showed you where the ITCZ was on April 29th. It was closer to the equator. Okay, and this was the genesis point where I had showed the other day that this is where the system will form. And today, as of morning, IMD has declared that the system has formed, and it has precisely formed at this particular location shown by the yellow circle, right? So the quick thoughts from my last video is that as of the conditions that were prevailing on April 29th, I told that a cyclone formation looks very unlikely in the Andaman Sea. Okay, and if a system develops, it will most likely strengthen to a depression or a deep depression. It may not become a cyclone. And as of now, as of April 29, there was no major impact for India. And I also told you that models keep changing, and if you have looked at the models from Tropical Tidbits or any other app, you would have seen that the models are changing every day. Like the runs are not very convergent; they are highly variable, and every run is producing some different result. And that is mainly because of the spring barrier issue that I talked about. So here I'm going to focus on the dynamics, and then I hope that this video will help you in understanding that we should go beyond models and just not just take any one model output and just show the path and say that, oh, the cyclone is coming and hitting this point, because cyclones will keep changing their dynamics every day. Okay, and that too at this particular point where too many things are happening. Even for a synoptic system as a cyclone, which usually one can predict 4 to 5 days ahead of time. Okay, even for that kind of system, it is very difficult for models to predict, and that's why we have to go beyond the models and look at the dynamics and understand what is expected in the next few days. Okay, models are important. I'm not saying models are not important, but we should be very cautious and not just put the model results or the GIF image of the models and then just say that, oh, this cyclone is coming here, because if you do that every day you will come up with a different track. Okay, so better is to look at the dynamics, what is happening. Okay, for cyclones, like I said, the models should predict 4 to 5 days advance, because it's a very synoptic system, unlike thunderstorm, which is a very local system. But even for cyclones, the models are struggling. Okay, so let us just see what is happening. So in today's video, I am again going to just tell you what is happening. The same dynamics, there is no change here. MJO movement, equatorial Rossby wave, Kelvin wave, and the ITCZ movement are still happening. Okay, and again the spring barrier problem is present. All right, so that's why the models are struggling. So let us look at the ITCZ. On April 29th, it was closer to the equator. And where is it today? So this green line is the equatorial line. All right. So this yellow line is the ITCZ line. I have put both the images. One is the infrared, other is the color infrared image. So this is where the genesis point is happening. Sorry, by this yellow circle. So so low pressure has already formed. IMD has declared that, and you can see it by the kind of the the power, I mean not the power, but the cloudiness that is seen close to Andaman Sea, right? So here it is getting slightly well organized. So it is a low pressure right now. The pressure system has formed here. So ITCZ wise, there is not much change. It is still where it was a couple of days back. Maybe a very slight movement, but not much. Okay, and this means that ITCZ. So usually when ITCZ is well above the equator at this point of time, it helps in the cyclone formation and movement. So last year when cyclone Fani formed around the same time, the ITCZ was much above this line. Okay, somewhere here. That's why Fani got a lot of convective strength from the ITCZ movement. Right, that is one thing to note here. Second thing is, let us look at the ocean sea surface temperature. Sorry, this should be as of May 1st, not April 30th. My bad. I didn't change the title. So it is as of, yeah, as of yesterday, correct, sorry. So it is as of yesterday, which is April 30th. So if you look at the sea surface temperature, it's very similar to what was seen 2 3 days back. There are some the temperatures are much above the threshold value of 28 degrees that is required for a cyclone. But one thing we are missing is convection happens only if there is a very high heat gradient between the ocean and atmosphere. So the convection will happen if atmosphere is at 25 and ocean is at 28. Then the gradient is 3 degrees, and that will create a lot of convection. But if now, although the ocean is at 30, we don't know what is the atmospheric state. So if atmospheric state is at 29, then there is only 1 degree difference, and that may not be enough to create a cyclone. Okay, because you need, so temperature is important, but other thing that is important is the temperature gradient between the ocean and the atmosphere, right? So although the temperatures are very high, but right now atmosphere may also have high temperature over the ocean, so that may kind of impede the convective activity to get to a cyclone level. All right. So we should not just look at SST as it is. All right. So right now the strength is there in ocean, but atmosphere has to pick it up and create a cyclone, which is not likely because ITCZ is not very active. All right. ITCZ is very close to the equator. If it has moved slightly above, then it could have helped in cyclogenesis, is what I feel. All right. The other thing that is very important is the ocean SST anomaly. So this is a 7-day change, right? So what you see is, you see a lot of blue color here, which means there is negative anomaly. So compared to a few days back, the ocean has kind of cooled and near the Sumatra coast, and it has heated up near the Somali coast. But we are not interested in this. Near the Sumatra coast, this is where the cyclogenesis happens. So you can see that there is some kind of a cooling trend compared to what was there 7 days ago, correct? So this cooling trend is also not very good because I mean, obviously, if things are cooling, then that means the energy is getting lower and lower for convection, right? So this kind of indicates this image kind of indicates that the equatorial Kelvin wave is not very active, because if the equatorial Kelvin wave was active, then it would push a lot of this warm waters towards this region of genesis, and it would ensure that it becomes, I mean, there is more convection available for the system to become well structured and become a cyclone as it moves northward. Okay, so this is not very good looking. Again, I mean, it is. I'm not saying it is not good looking. I'm just saying that this is not very conducive conditions for a cyclone to form. Right. So these are the three things that I looked at: ITCZ, ocean SST, and the anomaly. And as of now, it looks like it is not very conducive for a cyclone formation. Things may change, but as of today, it's not very conducive. Right. The last thing that I would like to show is the MJO status. The MJO is basically nothing but the Madden-Julian oscillation, and all three of these put together, the equatorial Rossby wave, Kelvin wave, and the ITCZ movement, governs the MJO evolution. So this green line is the prediction, and as it goes towards this inner curve, that means MJO is losing its strength. So MJO, if you see, it is in the East Indian Ocean, but then it is going to the maritime continent. And on first, it will come back to our East Indian Ocean, but then with a very weak strength. So this weak strength means convection is going to be low, and as I already showed you, the reasons for convection being low is the anomaly is low and ITCZ is not is not well above the equator. Okay, so those are the things which weaken the MJ activity, and that is shown in this plot. Okay, so finally, I don't like to show these things, but I'm just going to show you that what the GFS and ECMWF are predicting. As you can see, GFS is showing that a system is forming, but then it is dissipating. Okay, it is not strengthening to a cyclone, which is expected because the cyclone is not because the cyclogenesis is not going to happen that quickly. Correct. So it will just become a low pressure or a depression. On the other hand, ECMWF shows a cyclone formation, which is kind of counterintuitive to what the MJO shows from the ECMWF model, because MJO is showing a weakening trend, and ECMWF is picking up is showing a strengthening of cyclone. This is two things which are not in connection to each other, right? So I have a feeling that ECMWF will change its run, and this is just one-off run, which where is showing that the cyclone is forming, and the path is also not clear. Usually, it will not hit. I think even hypothetically, let us say that cyclone forms, but it will not go towards the Odisha coast. It may turn and curve towards Bangladesh or Myanmar coast. That is what is expected. Okay, but I have a feeling that ECMWF will take out this cyclone because the MJO is not very strong, right? And all the other convective activities that we talked about are not very strong. So final thoughts. Given the present conditions, cyclone formation looks very unlikely. This is my personal opinion, and I'm just talking about the most likely scenario. The system may intensify into a deep depression and then may weaken because of the low convective activity, even though SST is high, but other things are not favorable. As of now, I see no major impact for Indian coast. If a depression or a deep depression forms, Andaman and Nicobar Islands may get heavy rains between May 5th and 6th. It is advised that fishermen don't venture into deep sea from today all the way up till May 10th, because Bay of Bengal may be very, the winds will be very high, and there could be choppy, the sea will be very choppy. So last thing is that models keep changing their trend because of the spring barrier issue. So we can't just predict the models. We just can't depend on the models. So we need to go beyond and look at the ocean and atmospheric dynamics, which gives us a better prediction, not a better prediction, but a better state of what is going to happen. Okay. So thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please subscribe and also share it with your friends. And if you liked any particular component in this videos, and so please give me your comments, and I'll be happy to take it forward. Thank you so much.